This is a very different kind of video. I thought it would be interesting to show you my process for how I go about doing a time-lapse video in Minecraft and how I go about editing it. It's probably going to be a very short video, but maybe you'll get a feel for what it's like to do this sort of thing, or if you would like to start making videos yourself. This is the process that I do for time-lapses specifically. It is different for other videos, but I'm using time-lapses as an example for this one because it's the simplest one. So the first thing I do, of course, is come up with an idea for my time-lapse, and this is done in many ways. Usually they just come out of the blue. I just think of it, and then I might draw a sketch or something to kind of put it on paper and actually get a visual of what I'm actually thinking of. And sometimes I will see something and just want to build it, or if it's a character that I really like, then I might want to build them. So it just depends on whatever I feel like in the moment. But once I have the idea, that's the easy part. The hard part is actually motivating myself to actually start building it. Now, usually once I get started, like an hour or two into it, then you're kind of like, okay, now I kind of enjoy the process more. But as I'm building, I'm always also recording with the replay mod. And most people who do Minecraft content on YouTube know what this is. So this lets me record myself while I'm building, and then I can go back and watch myself building and render out a video clip based on that. I have no clue how other people are doing it, but the process I do, since sometimes my builds can take me upwards to 30 or more hours, so I usually don't do them all at once. I have a lot of replay files I usually have to go through. My process is I usually, immediately after logging out of my replay session, I will rename the file, and I usually name it after whatever my project is I'm working on, and then put a number after it. Then I can just keep adding to those numbers, so then I'll say this is number 1, this is video 2, this is video clip 3, and I just keep track of them that way. Because I do work on lots of different videos at the same time, so they're all named the same thing for that one video, and then I can easily pick out the ones for each video. Another very useful thing I do is often immediately after building, I will go to that replay recording that I just made and go ahead and render out a clip of the whole thing. Doing one of these could take as little as 5 minutes or as much as 30 minutes or more. It really just depends on the length of the clip you're trying to render and how complicated it is. And of course how well your computer can handle it. That's always a factor. So if I do that right away, I won't have to do them all at once at the end when I have them all sitting there. Because if I had 30 clips and I didn't render out any of those videos until they were all done, until the build was done, then I would have to go back and render clips for all of that footage, and that would take hours. So to save myself time and a headache like that, I like to render out clips as I go, and then when the build is done, I have all my clips already because I have been working ahead and working as I'm going. So it's a good idea to always work ahead and save them in the same folder. I told you how I rename my replay files after the project I'm doing, so when I render out those clips, I call it the exact same thing, or an abbreviation of it. As long as I know what it is and I know which clips they are associated with, the most important part is that number on the end. So I know that this video clip 1 that I made will go with the replay clip number 1. And so if I ever have to go back and re-render it, which oftentimes I do, even though I work ahead, I'm not really thinking about the overall video until I actually sit down to edit. And when I sit down to edit, sometimes I find mistakes or things that need to be altered to match my voiceover better. So it's easy for me to go back and find the exact same clip and re-render it or make a new version of it because they're all named the same thing. So that is how I usually organize and handle my replay files. Once I've finished the build, I have all my replay files, I have them all rendered out, then I can go straight to editing. And I said it at the beginning of this video, but these really are the simplest things for me to edit. Even though I can spend 20 to 30 to 40 hours of building, it only takes me 1 to 3 hours to edit the video. Oh, but also with time lapses, I like to render it in Blender, and that can take several hours too because I like to take my time with it. And it's the most frustrating thing when I finished this build finally that I'm like, oh no, I have to render it. But it is worth it. I do it for the thumbnail and for the little look at it at the end. So usually I do that immediately after building. The next step is to work on my voiceover, and I usually use Audacity for this because it is what I've been using most of my life and it is what I am used to. There are different ways I approach the voiceover. Sometimes I will put all of my video clips inside Premiere Pro and watch them back and then do the voiceover as I'm watching them back so I can remember the order that I built things in. And sometimes I just remember the process in my head and just do the voiceover without looking at any videos, just kind of making it up as I go, and then I will adapt the videos to match my voiceover as needed. It really does depend on the type of video and how much I have to say, because sometimes I can ramble on and have to consolidate what I'm saying, and sometimes I have a hard time knowing what to say. So it really just depends. But eventually it comes together, even if it is a really messy process. So once I have the voiceover and all the video footage, then the easy part is just stringing them together and making them kind of go along with each other. And if I have to go back and render new clips for the intro and outro, that oftentimes is the case, then I might go back and forth between editing and rendering new video clips, either with the replay mod or with OBS. I usually use OBS to record anything that isn't replay mod. I guess I should have mentioned that earlier, but as I'm editing this video, I'm finding I keep going back and changing little things here and there. I'm just all over the place with my editing. There is no rhyme or reason to it. For time lapses, I do take great care in the music I select for the very end, where I usually show the portion with shaders. I usually pre-render all the video clips and then just kind of make them match whatever music I have selected. So I work on that part a little bit more than others, but the rest of it is really just as simple as stringing the videos back to back and making them go along with my voiceover. So once I have that ending part done, usually I like to get that solidified first, and then I can go back and I just add in transitions and music wherever it's needed, and of course the music is for the whole video. But I try to find music that fits, and then I kind of adjust the volume. You know, I do a lot of adjusting of volume because you don't want to have your music overpowering your voiceover, and usually where it transitions from the time-lapse portion to the shaders portion, and of course you have to have that volume get louder because my voice is no longer there, so the music is the only thing you're listening to. So just simple things like that. And then at the very end, of course, we have the render, and I make sure to show that at least 3 times, have it circle around so that people have plenty of time to look at it. And that's just a nitpicky thing I do with my time lapses. And that's all there is to it. Once it's done, I export it and upload to YouTube, and you know the rest. Anytime in this process, whether it be in the middle of the video or after I'm done editing the video, I will be making the thumbnail. And usually for my time lapses, I like to render those in Blender also, but for most of my other videos that aren't time lapses, I'll just take a screenshot in the game and then stick it in my Photoshop template, save it out, and I'm good to go. And that's how I edit my time-lapse videos. It may not be the best way, but I thought you might be interested in seeing how I do it. Now when it comes to tutorials, those get way more complicated, but I'm not going to go into those in this video. I don't know if anyone's going to like this video, but I always enjoy behind the scenes videos and I feel like they don't get done often enough for Minecraft, so I hope you like it. And of course my video format might change, it's ever changing, but for now this is how my time lapses are done. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in an actual video someday. Bye!